welcome to Gunners Are Us, where we are positively Arsenal.
And that we are.
And I'm back.
And you're back. We are back after we're slowly making the team back together.
As the Premier League comes back as well. Like, it's all a comeback week.
It was the international break had us on our knees. I did a solo podcast last week, and Simon thrown in his 2 cents. Joe was in the intro. We've all been a bit under the weather. I feel a little bit under the weather. So if you hear me wheezing, I do apologize because the mic might pick me up.
I've tried to clear my throat as much as I can before we came on here as well.
Yeah, so I do apologize if we're a little bit of coughing, but we need to bring you your Wednesday day, your Wednesday delivery of podcast goodness.
Or whenever you put it on, really. I mean,
yeah, because
it is that time of year as well. We're gonna be a little bit ill, as well as the listeners are gonna be ill. So we're all in it together, you know.
Exactly. And this past weekend, so Simon, haven't heard Simon yet.
No.
Simon is not here on the podcast. He is super busy. Keep your eyes peeled on everything at Simon Miller 316 because he has some big things in the pipeline, and that is the reason why he's not here today. So I'm looking forward to you all hearing or seeing exactly what he has planned. But he will be back, obviously, as always. It's just that's the point of having a 3-man booth.
It's a blessing and a curse being busy, you know?
It is. It's Freebird rules.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't watch wrestling in the 70s, the Freebird rule means that anyone can tag in. You know, there could be solo weeks from me, solo weeks from Simon, solo weeks from Joe, me and Simon, Joe and Simon. It could be anything.
That's a good reference as well with the Iron Claw movie trailer dropping.
That does look good.
Go check that out. If you don't know the full story of the Von X, go check it out. It's a great film.
Yeah, it's Zac Efron, I believe.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy? It's the guy from The Bear.
Good show.
Yeah, what's his name?
Out
of interest.
Don't actually know his name.
Okay.
I just know him as The Bear.
I looked him up this week, and I still can't remember his name.
Yeah.
MJF's in it as well.
Not Timothy Chalamet, is it? Or is that the guy that looks like him?
That's what I think. The reason I looked him up was because someone brought up Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
I was like, is he the guy from The Bear? It wasn't.
No.
So, but we were together this weekend, this past weekend, Joe, Simon, and myself. We're at UPW, a wrestling show. You can catch the pictures at ByTBO on all social media and Simon Miller 316 on all social media.
Some wild pictures, actually.
Yeah, us in cloud suits, us doing all sorts of silliness. So, keep an eye out for us, but keep an eye out for Simon because he has been busy. Hopefully, be back next week and get him back up in your ear rolls because the next 4 weeks until the next international break is going to be, I think Arsenal might have 7 or 8 games in this 4-week spell. So it's going to get real thick and fast.
Coming back with a vengeance.
It's coming back with a vengeance. Then it'll go away for 2 weeks. And then I think it's the same, but for like 9 weeks.
Wow.
But there is an FA Cup weekend in there where no one plays midweek, I believe. So that could slow it down a little bit in January. But other than that, this is going to be quite hellacious this winter.
I tell you what, this is going to be fun during the Christmas period though, because that is a busy period, and we haven't done one of these yet in Christmas. So
that was the thing. I missed it last year as well. I remember I enjoyed the World Cup last year.
Yeah,
in the Christmas time, but I just as we all did this week with the international breaks, we all just missed club football. I remember thinking, I can't wait till next year.
Yeah.
When we can just get stuck into you open up a tin of Quality Streets and you just watch football every single day. Like
Boxing Day free.
There's Boxing Day football. If you watch the NFL, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve football, you got, I don't know, bloody, I'm
sure England will be playing cricket at some point.
They're currently getting beaten.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where I just couldn't wait to get back into this kind of, Friday night football, Saturday, all day Sunday, Monday night football, and then you got some midweek start Tuesday, like Champions League Wednesday, Europa League Thursday, Premier League back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I just love it.
Everything feels right in the world again.
Exactly. But this week has been the internationals. There's not a crazy amount to write home about. I think as far as internationals, the big talking points have been England looked awful against Australia.
Yeah.
Hard watch. Then they looked tremendous against Italy.
Fantastic.
They're qualified.
Yeah.
Which is huge. As far as Arsenal news goes, Eddie Nketiah played. He made his debut against Australia.
He did.
But he was not in the squad to play Italy, along with Tomori, which I think is awful for an actual qualifier that those two are playing regular football.
There's some suspect choices in that England team.
The fact that Calvin Phillips and Maguire play, and I think Maguire for England is very good. I think against Italy, he was very good. He just looked strong, content. And the fact that there's players like Mark Gahey that came in late on in that game,
looked well.
He's such a good player.
Yeah.
He should be starting. Tomori,
yeah.
He should be looking to start. Eddie Nketiah, he's not going to get ahead of Kane.
No.
But I mean, him and Watkins should be the next in line. And Watkins is the highest goal scorer in English football outside of Haaland.
He's looking very sharp at the minute, Watkins.
Yeah, and I can understand that. But I mean, having Eddie and Watkins on the bench, it's probably a good idea. Like,
I tell you who I prefer watching for England than I do for club football. It's Rashford.
I was going to say the opposite.
Oh, really?
Well, I wasn't going to say the opposite.
Are you playing devil's advocate?
No, I nearly text our Man United friend Bruno that we bring up and who will be coming on the podcast to talk all things Man United. I was going to say, do you have to watch this every single week? Because I think I'd fall out of love with football. He was so annoyingly bad.
Well, last night.
He was awful.
Oh, I shouldn't have put that bet on then.
Now, what did you win the one with the fouls?
No, I was.
You got to be close.
It got to 8, and then the third goal killed the game.
Yeah, no one was making fouls.
But Rashford, I had a bet on to get a goal from outside the box. He scored from just inside the box. I was livid.
That was a good goal. He does that every now and then, but just watching him, it just seems like he doesn't know what's going on. And the way in which he presses a ball really winds me up because he kind of wanders towards things. And it's really frustrating. And then
off the ball's not.
Yeah, and then you watch Bellingham, who's next to him, just flying around. It was just unreal.
Bellingham's a freak.
But because Eddie didn't play, he is still eligible to play for Ghana. Because he hasn't played for a competitive England game.
Okay.
So it's still open. If you've seen the pictures of him holding his cap for his debut, he looked pretty chuffed with himself. So I don't imagine this is Eddie going, do you know what, screw this. Because he's backed himself at Arsenal. He could have gone to like a Palace and tried to bang in a load of goals, which he would have, and build his career that way. He backed himself at Arsenal. He's in the first team at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think he backs himself at England level because, Kane is getting older.
Yeah.
Eddie Nketiah is 23.
Yeah.
If he sticks at Arsenal and he keeps scoring goals, because Ollie Watkins even, I think, 27, 28.
Yeah.
So I think Eddie will back himself. I don't think he'll change to Ghana. I think he will stick it out. Other than that, I don't think there's been that much information. I saw that Mudryk scored a nice goal for Ukraine.
Did he?
He's starting to hit what we knew before.
Yeah, just in time for the weekend.
Just in time. We'll get to that when we preview Arsenal, because coming up on today's episode, we're going to do a prediction league. We'll tell you who won last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because we didn't tell you last week on the solo. We'll be predicting this week's, including a more extensive preview of Chelsea versus Arsenal. And we're going to get to the Champions League preview shortly at the end with Sevilla away. Before we just leave you with that in your ear rolls.
Before we move on from international, though, I just want a quick shout out, just because of the dirt that is under our feet currently. How about Wales beating Croatia?
That's an unreal result.
That is probably one of their biggest results in recent history, I would have thought.
I honestly don't even understand it, to be honest, because it's just Croatia are quality.
Yeah, very good.
And Wales aren't the best.
They're not the best, but they do play with grit sometimes.
I think sometimes they did. There was that Euros, wasn't there? The one where we did well, went to the final. They were unreal.
Yeah.
And then that World Cup, I was really disappointed with them. It was boring, just slow. There was no atmosphere to it.
Nah.
If they can build that atmosphere, I think, it's a proper play for the badge type. That's their tactic. It's
the atmosphere that the Welsh fans bring in rugby, football. They deserve something.
Yeah. And even England have gone further than them in the Rugby World Cup. So that's, all our Welsh friends are not too chuffed with that.
No,
it's quite
and our Irish friends are definitely not too chuffed.
Not too chuffed because they're very good.
They were very good.
I tell you who else isn't too chuffed is probably our Man United friends, including the Bruno, our friend. Because we're going to talk a little, because we're going to save a lot of Man United chatter for this one. It might be a one-off episode that is nothing to do with the weeklies. Because I think we want to start, we've been saying it for a few weeks, adding more podcasts. So I might jump on here if I feel particularly passionate about a match or a game or a situation that's happening in the football world.
Yeah.
But something that is happening this week is the Man United Qatari takeover went through. It failed, essentially.
Yeah.
But it looks like, I don't remember his name. I don't remember his first name, so I'm just going to say Mr. Ratcliffe.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's doing this is Man United fans are going to be screaming. I believe it was a minority 25% share, something like this. The reason I bring this up is because Man United fans, I believe, are quite upset. But I want to read you a Gary Neville tweet.
Okay.
Because it's very funny.
That's always worthwhile.
Okay. And I'm going to be honest. I've lost it. But I'm going to be honest. I've stolen this a little bit from Arscast.
Okay.
Because they had a good laugh.
Yeah.
But I know you haven't read this
I haven't
tweet.
seen this. No, I'm not even looking at it personally.
This is Gary Neville's tweet. Whew. The news last night of Qatari withdrawal leaves Man United on the brink of a minority investment. That's Mr. Ratcliffe. I can't remember his first name. Can this really work, and what impact will it have on a struggling organisation? It's worth setting out my non-negotiables on a takeover for Man United that I made over a year ago.
Okay.
Very smart.
Very involved.
1, a new sporting project. 2, a new redeveloped Old Trafford.
Okay.
3, a new training ground. All these seem correct to me.
Yeah, fair.
Because it does look a bit old.
Need a revamp.
5, I've missed 4. Pay off the debt and stop taking dividends until the above is done. It's because it's similar to Askcast. I've left 4 till last because I want to hear what you think of this.
Okay.
Full redevelopment of the surrounding land to create a Manchester United world and an amazing fan experience.
Whoa, I like the sound of that.
And what I would like to do is, and again, I did copy this of Askcast. I'm not going to use the same ones, but they were saying, what would a Man United world consist of? Because they were saying, do they like pull out Paul Ince or someone just does karaoke in a local bar?
Yes.
You know how like Mickey Mouse walks around? Do they have like Pallister walking around taking pictures with fans?
100%. It'll be like a really weird, like Manchester version of Magaluf that involves multiple Man United legends over the years.
And you have to remember these are his non-negotiables.
Yeah, Manchester, so this has to happen. Manchester Luth, you know,
Manchester Luth. What would you name some of the bars?
Oh,
because I was thinking you could have a okay, there's a lot of innuendo here.
Yeah.
A dive bar.
Okay.
With Ruud van Nistelrooy as the bartender.
Fair.
Because he dives.
Yeah, fair.
Right?
Fair.
But the bar would be called the Crossbar because he hit the crossbar against Arsenal.
That's fair as well.
So it's a dive bar with Ruud van Nistelrooy and it's called the Crossbar.
Well, I think if you're going to have a bar as well where like some of the players currently go after the game to talk to the fans, you could call it the Devil's Rejects, I reckon.
That would be nice. And what they should do, they should have a Devil Rejects bar or a restaurant.
Yeah.
And the waiters are all Man United players that everyone hated.
Ones you can't remember.
Yeah. So like Macheda.
Yeah.
He's lead waiter.
Yes.
What else we got?
God, I'm trying to think of that kid that played for a little bit. Is it Chadwick?
Chadwick, yeah, sure.
Chadwick's in the house.
I love Chadwick in the house. Nanny, maybe the 2 twins, maybe Anderson.
The 2 twins and they keep swapping in and out, but you don't know which one you got.
That'd be nice.
Like apparently Ferguson used to do back in the day.
Yeah, I wonder if that's true. The other one I was thinking, something to do with 8-2 because we have to be less biased. So yeah. I would 8-2 be here or something is the slogan, right?
Or like an all-you-can-eat buffet that's like 8 too much.
8 too much is good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Talking of Manchester United, have you watched the Beckham doc yet?
I haven't. No. I really want to though.
I know.
I was a big Beckham fan as a kid. I read his book. One of the first books I ever read.
See, here's the cool thing: is I wasn't a Beckham fan.
Yeah.
Because he's a Man United fan. But I was obviously playing with teams like Crystal Palace and Reading.
Yeah.
And people were calling me the next Beckham.
True that.
So it was more just because obviously we were simultaneously doing the same stuff.
I think that was your bleach blonde curtains and your sarong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my Brill cream I kept getting for Christmas. So moving on. Massively from internationals and massively from Man United, we're moving back into club football.
Okay.
Is where we all been waiting to get back into. This is where we deserve to be. So we're going to start it with some prediction league. What? So we're going to head into the prediction leagues now. We've got 10 games this weekend from Saturday afternoon through to Monday. I'll let you know what happened 2 weeks ago. So in last place is Simon. He got 2 out of 10 last week.
Whoa.
Okay.
Did he play devil's advocate that time?
No, he did a lot of draws. And what was funny was we were like laughing that he had so many draws.
Yeah.
In the end, there was like 5 draws.
Wow.
But there were the 5 that he didn't pick.
Okay. Well, he was in the right area, wasn't he?
Yeah, he thought something was up. And in second place is myself.
Okay.
5, 50%, batting 500. And then you got 6.
6? I think, as you'll remember too, I played Devil's Reject Advocate.
Yeah,
I've got Reject on my brain.
So overall, that puts Joe up to winning 3 weeks.
Okay.
I've won 3 weeks. Simon's won 2.
Okay.
And overall points, Joe's on 32. I'm on 31. Simon is on 29. So Simon, he needs a good week this week. If you actually look across the board though, like we've all kind of averaged like 5 or 6, and then had a couple weeks where you get 2.
Yeah.
And it's literally across the board, like. You got 2 1 week, and you got. But other than that, you got 4, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6.
Wow! Why do I not bet on these?
Whereas I went 6, 2, 2, 5, 5, 6, 5.
So you've been pretty consistent recently.
Yeah, so it's basically the difference is Simon's had a couple 2s. So yeah, hopefully this week we'll treat everyone slightly better. We got a couple of really nice games and a couple of really, I'd say average games.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna get up my phone. because I'm looking to see if Simon has got his predictions in. So we're doing this live.
Yeah.
So if Simon's predictions come in while we're doing the predictions, you will find out.
There it is.
They have this second come in live on my phone. It's just alerted me.
It's like he's with us.
It is like he's with us. Simon is silently shouting into a void.
Yeah.
And we have his predictions. So we can start the predictions now.
Let's go.
Game 1.
Yep.
We have Liverpool versus Everton, Merseyside derby.
Oh.
I believe this is midday on a Saturday.
Okay.
And I can tell you that Simon has gone 2-2 draw. So he's gone with the draws again.
So we've got Anfield in the sun. That's a beautiful thing.
Everton are an odd side as well because
they're up and down.
Yeah, with Everton, it's very odd because they have been so bad at times.
Yeah.
And I remember on this podcast we were saying they're better than what they're letting on.
Yeah.
Like some of the situations they've been getting into are good. They just ended up losing the games. And then a couple of weeks ago they beat like Brentford, and you thought, oh, they're coming back.
Yeah.
Then they lose, then they win again. So they're very hit or miss. But
is that Dyche football?
It is. I think 5 weeks ago people were predicting that they were going to go down.
Yeah.
I never prescribed to that because I just think they're better than they're letting on.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come about 10th, 11th.
Yeah.
I actually think they're better than you realise. I don't think they have a chance against Liverpool at Anfield.
No.
Because this is the Liverpool side that 3 weeks ago everyone was saying are going to win the league. And until a bad set of VAR decisions lost them a game, now no one's talking about them.
Yeah, true.
So it seems that, and then they drew the next game. So they dropped, they got 2 points out of 6.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden no one's talking about Liverpool. But I mean, 3 weeks ago we were talking about them as title contenders.
Yeah.
I think this is a 2-1 Liverpool win. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
I think Everton will be in the game. I just don't think they'll have enough to go over the line. Because you got to remember, Liverpool are very leaky.
Yeah.
They're not the best defence in the league.
So yeah, it could be a fun watch. Yeah, I think Liverpool have definitely put it together more so than we thought they were going to do early on.
Mm-hmm.
I think they came up against a very good Tottenham side, and were faced with a match. But I still think, I think regardless of what happened in the Tottenham game, I think Liverpool are going to win this. I'm going to say 3-1. Okay. I think this Liverpool side is very much a solidly 4th place team.
Yeah, because I think they remind me a little bit of Arsenal of old, where they're super exciting going forward.
Yeah.
Very, I think, a soft underbelly a little bit, like they could be get at.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in an aggressive way. I mean that in just a leaky goals kind of thing. I think you're going to see a lot of 5-4s, 3-2s. They're going to be an exciting team to win, to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll win every single game because of that reason. But they'll be pure entertainment for the season, and now probably sit around 4th, I think.
Yeah.
But again, I could be way off because
it's a long season to go.
The way in which City have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
People now have said like, "Oh, City are going to struggle." It's like, I mean, City were behind us at this point last year, and everyone was saying that Haaland makes them play worse and all these kind of comments. City are going to come back and they're going to win 30 in a row, and we're all going to go, "Oh, I thought that wasn't
every time." And Rodri's back now, isn't
he? Yes, yeah,
that'll do it.
So, but they did lose 3 domestic games without him in a row.
Yeah, he's clearly a very important part of that team.
Yeah, just a little bit. And that is why they wanted Declan Rice. And when you think about the fact that they didn't get Declan Rice, this is for that exact reason. And
or
we
even
saw
Calvin.
Yeah, and we saw Calvin Phillips last night and for England, and how poor he is, how slow. He's not match fit. That's the issue.
He hasn't been playing football.
No, and he should have gotten sent off because he was on a booking and he went well over the ball.
Yeah, another Man City player. Getting
away with it. So the next game is Bournemouth versus Wolves.
Ooh.
So Bournemouth started well. I believe that they've kind of tailed off, and I don't think they're actually very good at all.
Yeah.
And I think Wolves started poorly and actually are decent.
Well, they showed signs early on as well.
Yeah, then they had that 3-4 week patch where you just thought, oh god, they're in trouble. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with a draw.
Yeah.
I think it's a 1-1 draw. I think Neto is going to score for Wolves.
That's helpful. He's in my team.
Is he actually?
Oh yeah, I've had him in my team for a couple of weeks now. He does all right. I think it's a bit of a lightweight punch out. I think that one. Like a little lightweight boxer punch out. I'm gonna say a Wolves win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Wolves.
So 0-1.
Yeah, I think they've got enough there, Wolves, whereas Bournemouth haven't shown enough.
Yeah, Bournemouth just look a little bit docile.
Yeah.
They're kind of neat and tidy, but they kind of give the ball away here and there, and they're not very potent up front.
Whereas Wolves have it in them to do something.
Yeah, and Wolves aren't necessarily conceding many goals, and they're coming back, from a situation where they've won a couple. I think they're in a good vein of form. Wolves,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna score, but I just think Bournemouth at home, I just see them score. So I'm going with a draw.
Yeah.
I think my head is telling me it's probably more of a Wolves win, like you. Simon's gone for a 2-0 Wolves win as well.
Fair.
So I think it could go either way, but I do think it's moving towards Wolves win.
That could be a missed opportunity for me to play devil's advocate there.
Well, I've done it for you. So the next game is Brentford Burnley, and I can tell you that Simon has gone 1-1 draw.
Fair.
Simon back on his draws. Mr. Fence Sitter, Mr. Swiss. You like that?
I like that.
Mr. Switzerland. Oh my God, I just saw a City result. Brentford versus Burnley. I think there's not much point in talking about this. Both teams are out of form.
Yeah.
Brentford are underachieving. Burnley are just not achieving.
They're not there yet.
I don't know what's going to happen, but if I had to guess, Mbeumo, Wissa, they're going to have too much for Burnley.
Yeah.
Burnley don't look great. They've just come off of a 4-1 home loss to Chelsea, who are also out of form. I'm going to go with a 3-0 Brentford win.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Brentford, I think. I think Brentford haven't quite been in the races like they were last season, but I think they've still got enough there to kind of get it going. Yeah,
definitely. And the next game is a good game. It is Man City at home to Brighton.
Woo!
And if you were Man City, this is not the type of game you want after 3 domestic losses in a row.
It's not.
And again, I don't think Brighton are the best away from home against the Big Six. Simon this is the one I saw. He's gone 2-1 Brighton.
Wow.
I tell you what, if that happens, the season is well and truly wide open.
Oh, yeah.
And if you remember first podcast, I predicted this season it'll be not a 4-horse race, but I thought it'd be a season where everyone would lose 4 to 8 games.
Yeah.
Like the Big Six.
Yeah.
And it'll be anyone's game. Because I just think,
sorry.
Following a treble, Man City were always going to have a slight struggle.
Yeah.
But they struggle every season.
Yeah.
At the start. And then they get stronger and stronger. And then they win. They do actually win 12 or 14 games in a row. Yeah. And we just go, okay, there's no chance. Even we were ahead of them by 10 points with about 11 games to go.
Yeah.
And we lost by 4 points.
That's terrifying.
That's what I mean. And they did it to Liverpool. They were 15 points behind and they beat him by a point on the last day.
I tell you what, if they don't come through this little slump they're in at the minute, they've got a tough string of games coming up.
This is what I want to talk about because they are in a struggle. And if you remember, they always start slow.
Yeah.
But after the first 6 or 7 games, we've said City have been really good. And we were saying, and Arsenal have kind of got results, but we haven't been slick yet. And we were saying maybe we've switched reversed and they're doing an Arsenal season where they're going to tail off. And we're actually going to do the Man City thing where you kind of take 10 to 15 games to figure out exactly how you play.
Yeah.
But you're churning out wins, maybe a couple of draws. Because City tend to lose a couple at the start of the season, then they don't lose again.
Yeah.
But I think if they were to lose or draw this weekend, this is different because 3 weeks ago we were saying they've started differently because they've won every single game. It's not a bad, usually they start badly. They didn't start badly. They started really well.
Yeah.
They've tailed off the start. So this is slightly different to what they usually do. And the reason I want to bring up their results, their matches coming up, is they've lost to Newcastle in the Cup. They've lost to Wolves away, Arsenal away. They're now home to Brighton. And Brighton are going to put their foot on the ball, let them come up to them, and they're going to press, and they're going to go over the top. And they have players like Batoma, Ferguson that can really do damage. So it's not an easy game by any means. It's a 3 o'clocker. It's off TV. It's not exactly where a big team like City want to be because when it's on TV and the players are showing out, it's different. When it's quietly being done at 3 o'clock, it's always that little bit more nerve-wracking, I think. So they've got Brighton at home. They go away to Champions League midweek, away to Young Boys. Then the weekend after, they are away to Man United.
Okay.
Then they have a nice home game against Bournemouth.
Yep.
Then they have a midweek nice home game against Young Boys. But then they go away to Chelsea, home to Liverpool, home to Leipzig, home to Tottenham, away to Villa.
That's rough.
And I'm just, obviously, you'd think they should come through a lot of this. And someone would say Man United aren't good and they've probably struggled. Man United do have their number the last couple of years.
It's a derby as well.
Tottenham have had their numbers the last couple of years. There's a lot going on there. If I was a Man City fan, I'd be very nervous. Very similar to the Chelsea run. Chelsea have got a run, and they had to get those last 2 wins in a row to kind of take the pressure off of this horrible run. Because now if they pick up a win, a couple of draws.
They could have opened the floodgates with those goals as well now.
Yeah, we were saying on this podcast, their XG is unreal.
Yeah.
So eventually those chances are going to get cashed in, and they've started to be cashed in, and that's what's going to make the Arsenal Chelsea game this weekend so interesting. Is I think Chelsea have kind of figured out how they play, but they've done it against Burnley, they've done it against Luton, they've done it against Fulham.
Yeah.
If you were going to say you wanted to play 3 of the worst teams, I would say Burnley, Luton, and Fulham right now.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, is it that they're getting good, or did they finally play really bad teams? Because earlier in the season they played Luton and they did smash them, and then they carried on losing. Now they played Fulham back to back with Burnley. Is it the fact that they're playing poor teams, or is it the fact that they finally figured out? We'll find out this Saturday night, sorry, at 5:30.
Yeah,
because Arsenal do look very intent, like a clean sheet against Man City. We're a good defensive unit. We're dangerous going forward. It depends if obviously we have people like Saka and Martinelli back. But back to the City game, Rodri's back. I believe there's no massive injuries for City as it stands.
Yeah.
Grealish even played for England this week, so they got a full team. What are you thinking?
I'm kind of hoping. I'd like to see Brighton win that, obviously, but and Brighton, you never know what you're going to get with them sometimes. But I think De Zerbi will see this as a challenge, the same way Arteta does. He's going to want to outmatch Pep, and you're kind of hoping that this little bad run sends Pep into like proper galaxy brain, where he starts fiddling with it too much, and it gets a little bit messy.
If it helps, I can tell you a little stat.
Okay.
Everton have more XG this year, positive XG, than Man City.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I'm gonna go right down the middle and play draw.
Okay.
I think De Zerbi's gonna put on a bit of a masterclass. I don't think he'll get a win.
Yeah.
But I think he'll see this as a challenge to go up against Pep, and I think he'll figure something out to stop them. There's enough there that you can watch from past City games to see how to stop them.
Yeah. What's the score?
I'm gonna go 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna shut the game out.
Something else. I've actually my heart is telling me that Brighton are gonna put on a clinic. And they're going to really unnerve them because the crowd should be nervous. If there's a crowd in the Etihad, the Etihad will be probably not rocking at all. But I think they'll put their foot on the ball. I really do think they'll let them press on them. And they're so dangerous when they strike, Brighton. But Brighton have shown signs this year that they don't really change the way they play.
Yeah.
And for example, West Ham kept counterattacking them.
Yeah.
And they lost 3-0.
Same with Villa as well.
Yeah. But again, those teams actively wanted to counterattack on them. Yeah. City aren't going to counterattack on Brighton because City are going to have the ball.
Yeah.
So Brighton are going to have to.
I think stalemate. I stick by draw. I think.
Do you want to know what mine is?
Yeah.
City 4-0.
Fair. That's fair because that could also happen. I think any one of those scores could happen.
Yeah, I think it's a very good game. It's not a good game to bet on, but I do think it'd be a very fun game.
Wish we could watch that one.
Yeah, I'll be watching. Match of the day. So the next game, if City lose before the Arsenal game at 5:30. The pressure that comes off if City lose.
Oh, big time.
Just okay, I can half enjoy this game. The next game is Newcastle versus Palace.
Okay.
Simon has gone 2-0 Newcastle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to talk about here.
Yeah.
I think Palace are really good. I think their defensive partnership of Anderson and Gahey
yeah,
is very good. I don't think Newcastle will be able to score lots of goals.
No.
But Palace don't score many goals. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Newcastle win.
Yeah, I think, like we said before, if this was at Palace, I think it'd be an interesting game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Newcastle are going to win. I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay. Next game is Forest versus Luton. I don't even have to check Simon's predictions.
It's very surprises.
There's not a chance, is there? He's got to be going Luton here. He's gone 2-1 Luton away from home at Forest.
Fair.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But if you think about it, I know that Forest were up last year, but this is a bit of a championship game.
Yeah.
And I think Forest have found their legs in the Premier League finally. But if Luton are going to win away from home, these are the types of games they have to try and pick away at.
Yeah.
I just don't. Watching Luton against Tottenham last week or 2 weeks ago, they could have been 5-0 down in that first 10, 15 minutes. They are so poor.
Yeah.
And I said it again. I said it on the solo pod last week. 1 week, someone is going to find them out.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. It'd be probably your Villas, Arsenal's, City, someone with even Chelsea. Chelsea have played Luton, but when they play them at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
I think did they play them at Stamford Bridge? I think they went away from home to Chelsea at Luton. They're going to really get seen to.
Yeah.
It's going to be an 8 or 9-0, I think, this year. I don't think Forest are that team, but I do think Forest will win 3-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to play it safe here and go Forest too. I think Yeah, Forest have got enough. It is like a top of the table championship game, to be fair.
Mhm.
But the Premier League's totally different, and Forest have bedded in, and they've got a bit more Premier League experience now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Forest. Do you know what? I'm going to go nuts with this one. I'm going to say Forest 4-0.
Okay.
I think this will be one of those games for Forest where it will really click.
Simon won't be chuffed hearing this.
Yeah.
We're going to gloss over Arsenal, Chelsea versus Arsenal. We'll come back to that at the end. And we're going to go Sheffield United versus Man United.
Okay.
Simon has gone for a 1-1 draw. I think that's a fair one.
Yeah.
Man United obviously are not in a good vein of form.
No.
Even though they won their last game.
Just.
They won in, 98 and
Yeah.
101 minutes or something. Or I think I'm thinking of a different game. That was the Spurs Sheffield United game. I don't think Sheffield United have much going for them.
No.
United, weirdly, I've got this image in my head of a late Saturday. I think this is an 8 o'clock Saturday game.
Is it?
I've got it in my head that they do well in these games. I think they beat Burnley, maybe.
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah.
And they're these games like away to Burnley, away to Sheffield United. The games that on paper you kind of look at, go, oh, that'd be awkward. And then Man United they make a little bit of hard work of it, but then they win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually go with a 1-0 Man United win. And that would be an interesting result because the way in which people are talking about Man United, they would have won 2 in a row. But people still are kind of thinking they're awful.
It's because it's a bit messy.
Yeah, the wins aren't convincing. Yeah. I'll give it that. But it's interesting because I think Man United go through phases where if they lose a game, they're falling off a cliff. If they win a game, sometimes people kind of just ignore it and just think, but they're not good. But before you know it, they might string 4 or 5 wins together. And this is what happened last year.
Yeah.
They weren't great. But come January, February, they were kind of, 6-7 points behind us.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how are they there? So they quietly string wins together because no one talks about it when they win. They only talk about when they lose. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United at home is a bit more dangerous than like a Luton at home.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I'm the thing I'm working with is just the fact that when they went away to Burnley at the same time, there was no atmosphere.
I can see the visual in my head of
Rashford
under the lights, away kit on, and they just put on a bit of a class. Yeah, my heart's telling me to go Sheffield United, but I think I'm going to have to go 2-1 Man United. I think I did that on my Super 6 prediction league as well. I just remembered that.
So 2-1 away from home. The next game is Villa West Ham. This is a good game because I think both these teams are classic 6th in the league type fodder. And they both attack very well. And they both defend okay.
Yeah, this isn't a lightweight punch out like Bournemouth Wolves. This is more of a middleweight to like slightly heavier punch out.
This is Anderson Silva and Rich Froning. Do you know what I mean? Rich Froning.
Oh, that's a fight.
That's
look at that one.
They talk about Misfits cards. I spat everywhere.
I did as well.
I'm dribbling.
That call created saliva in the room.
Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin.
And I didn't want to say Anderson Silva because I don't think Villa are Anderson Silva.
No.
Who was fighting Rich Franklin back in the day?
Ooh.
Go on.
Oh my goodness.
The Canadian lad, not George St. Pierre.
Was it Matt Hamill in there, was it?
No, he's a welterweight, I think. Matt Hamill. Was he deaf?
Matt Hamill. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of. Oh, that's going to bother me. When you're doing your prediction, I'm looking this up.
Okay.
Villa versus West Ham. I've been really impressed with Jared Bowen.
Yep.
And I've been really impressed with Ollie Watkins. So it's going to be a little bit of who's going to be better on the day. I really like Bowen.
Yeah.
But I think he does benefit from a counter-attack with Antonio.
Yeah.
And I do think Villa will have the ball. So it's a really hard one to call because if the Villa that showed up against Brighton show up, all bets are off.
How is this not on TV?
This one is on TV on Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
4:30. Simon has gone back to his draw, so he's gone 2-2. I'm genuinely stumped. He literally could. I think the options are 2-2 or 4-2 Villa or something like that.
Yeah, I think this could potentially be a repeat of the Brighton game at Villa Park. I think Ollie Watkins is sharp at the minute.
I'll say this. In that Villa game, against Brighton, the XG for the game was 1-1.
That's weird.
And they scored 6.
Yeah.
Which shows you how clinical they were with their chances because there were half chances that they were scoring.
Yeah.
That, if you remember, Man United fans will laugh at this. Man United 8-2 against Arsenal.
Yep.
XG wasn't about them. I would love to know the XG on that because the goals they scored that day were so like the ball would roll to Ashley Young and he just curl in the top corner.
Yeah.
And he's going, well, then the other day he just skies that.
Yeah.
Then he did it again. Then Rooney did it. And you just think, how is it that everything's perfectly happening today?
Yeah.
And I think Villa might have had that one perfect day that everyone has a year.
Yeah.
That everything goes for you. And like the ball just, it goes perfectly in the corners, everything like that. I think they had that against Brighton.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll be as lucky because obviously there's going to be weeks where they maybe create 4 or 5 XG and score 2.
Yeah. It's rare to get those games twice, let alone twice in a row. Which I was also taking into consideration this week because I had Watkins as captain in my fantasy team for that Brighton game.
Yeah.
And then I've captained him again this week because I'm banking on Brighton shutting out Haaland. So this prediction right now, I've got 2 different mindsets going on because I've still got time to remove Ollie Watkins as my captain. I'm not sure yet. The theory of this happening again is very unlikely. But I do feel like this might be a bit of a shootout and Villa will come out on top. I think there'll be goals. And I think I'm going to leave Ollie Watkins as my captain. And I think I'm going to side with Villa getting... I think it'll be 3-2 Villa.
Okay, I've gone 4-2 Villa.
Okay.
So we all think West Ham are going to score 2, but no one thinks West Ham are going to win. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to say Rich Franklin would fight Patrick Cote.
There it is.
That's the one in my head. I don't know if they ever fought.
What about Matt Hughes?
Matt Hughes, yeah. There was another one I just saw as well. And I thought, God, that's a throwback. Dan Henderson. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Bisping.
Good times. Good times.
These are good times. So the last game before we get to the Chelsea Arsenal preview is Spurs versus Fulham. I think Fulham are awful.
Yeah.
Like really just middle of the road. Not the best at scoring, not the best at defending. Don't think they'll go down. Don't think they'll be top half. I don't know what they are. Spurs look decent.
Yeah.
I think they look very good.
Yeah.
In fact. But if you watch them against Luton, they made hard work of a very easy game.
Oh, yeah.
They got themselves down to 10 men.
Yeah.
They created problems. They did not stare. They were missing every chance they had.
Yeah.
But again, some days you have those days. And
Yeah.
some days you have what Villa had against Brighton.
Yeah.
And everything goes your way. I've got a feeling this could be that day for Spurs.
Yeah.
And again, they've made hard work at home with like Sheffield United. They were 1-0 down in the 95th minute.
Yeah.
And they won 2-1.
True.
They at home, they have made a pig's ear of a lot of stuff. I think this isn't that day. This is Monday Night Football. Does that change anything? Under the lights, does that change anything for you?
No, I think they've got a good atmosphere going at the Tottenham ground now. I think under the lights on a Monday night, I think they're going to be all over Fulham. I think, like you said earlier, I think Spurs are the us of last season. I think they will hold that top spot for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they will lose it later on. I think the lack of Premier League experience from Ange.
I think not just that. I saw that stat that he's never lost in the UK or in Britain at home.
That's
ever,
crazy.
Ever.
Yeah.
For Celtic or Tottenham.
I do. If I had to put money on it because of that stat, I would put money on them staying unbeaten at home this season.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
I think this one's going to be a bit of a rout, though. I think they're going to show up here. I think it's going to be 4-0 Tottenham.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. 4-0 for Joe.
I think they're firing all cylinders. And
I would agree. So I'm going to go 1-1.
Fair. Devil's advocate. There you go.
I can't put Tottenham players in my fantasy team, and I can't predict them to win.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the downfall in fantasy football and in this prediction.
Yeah, it usually is my downfall in fantasy football. Yeah.
So, but pride comes first.
It does. Yeah.
All right.
North London's red, you know.
So the last game we got to predict is the Arsenal game.
There it is.
So we'll do our quick predictions, and then we're going to break it down for you.
Okay.
Break it down. So Simon, he has gone 3-1 Arsenal away from home. We have a Chelsea friend who I think I remember at one point in his life, he would always joke that Arsenal will win every single game 3-1.
Yeah.
And there was a period of time where I feel like that was our result. But I just don't think so. I think this is going to be really cagey. This time last year, we won 1-0 with a Gabriel Magalhaes header.
Yep.
No, it wasn't a header. It was like a poke in from a flick on from a corner. But it was a tight game. We missed a lot of good chances. They also missed a couple good chances. They were with Graham Potter at the time.
Yeah.
Their midfield was our midfield now.
Yeah.
So a lot's changed. This game is so hard to cook that I might have to come back to it once we break it down.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think Stamford Bridge is always a tough one. I always remember growing up as Stamford Bridge being a nightmare.
And again, it's so hard, isn't it? Because we talk about recency bias with like refs and stuff. We have like recency PTSD of certain things.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we go away to Burnley this year, I'm going to assume we're going to get beaten and we're going to get beaten up. But there's not a team in the league that will beat you up less than Burnley this year.
Yeah, I have that assumption going into most Arsenal games.
Yeah. And also, we are the team that beat up a lot of teams.
Yeah, no,
we have a big back four. We have some like big guys in the midfield. Like we like a tackle. People like Odegaard. He's more Fabregas than he is Odegaard. He'll get stuck in. We bullied Haaland last week. There's something that's changed. But naturally, if we go against Burnley, I'm like, oh, they're going to beat us up. But it's just different. So Stamford Bridge, I think of this is impossible to win at, because I think there was a period of time where we hadn't, very similar to City, but I don't think we had beaten Chelsea away from home for like 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
Up until about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Since Arteta's been in charge, I'm fairly sure we've beaten Chelsea every single game.
They're usually quite significant games for us a lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you think of the Boxing Day game that Arteta went with Saka and Smith Rowe over Lacazette and Aubameyang.
Yeah.
And we won 3-0. And he was only a year in at that point.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was going to get sacked.
We also have the game where Martinelli ran the length of the pitch for the equaliser.
Right, exactly. So Chelsea versus Arsenal. I'm just going to look up.
Yeah.
Just to see what the last 10 years have been like. But I'm interested because, well, I'm looking at it. Head to head, last 5 matches, Chelsea have won 1, Arsenal have won 4.
Okay.
So we won 3-1 at home last season and 1-0 away. In the Florida Cup, we beat them 4-0. And then the season before that, we beat them 4-2 away from home.
Yeah. But
they beat us 2-0 at home. And if you remember, that was the last bad Chelsea feeling loss. Do you remember that was Lukaku bullying Pablo Mari?
Yeah.
And it was kind of the last thing Pablo Mari did.
Yeah.
And we just looked. I just got this image at the Emirates of when it's at the Emirates, Drogba near post just destroying a game, or Lukaku or someone. And then away from home, I just think of Hazard running through the middle of all of our team.
On a plus side, I've also got a negative image of Jorginho going up against us and being an absolute nightmare. But he's on our side now, so that's always a plus.
And again, that's something we need to talk about. Is like, how do you think we're going to line up? Because if you remember against City, Thomas Partey came on last 10 minutes?
Yeah,
changed the game. Like he was just you forget how good that player is. And he's gone away with Ghana with the Arsenal physio.
Yeah,
again, that guy goes to Ghana more than he expected. I think. And Partey played, I think, both games. And last night they lost 4-0 to the USA.
Yeah,
he was still making this is upsetting. He was still making recovery tackles in the 85th minute in his own like back left channel.
Yeah,
flying into tackles. And I was thinking, 4-0 down, and Thomas Partey's in the 90th minute basically making tackles. This is not what I want to see.
No,
he's just come back from injury. He's played 10 minutes for Arsenal. And Ghana play him twice.
Yeah.
And and he's tracking back into corners at 4-0 down. It just baffles me.
A big factor in this game also is the doubt around Saliba and Saka at the moment.
Yeah. So Saliba, I feel 95% sure.
Yeah.
It was a slight toe injury. He played through it.
Yeah.
When it was bad.
Yeah.
He's had 2 weeks off. I do think Saliba's an absolute. He'll be fine.
He's a deciding factor in most of these.
Yeah, I do think it'll be David Raya, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White.
Yeah.
Ben White, it looks like this week they're going to put pen to paper on a new deal.
Good.
And someone brought this up. I think he's such an underrated player. I think people that support other clubs don't really rate him.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal fans really rate him.
Yeah.
And someone said he's a bit of a cult hero. He's a bit like Loren.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No one really, like, if you said to a random fan of Chelsea or like Man United or something, what do you think of Loren? They'd be like, it was Loren. Like,
yeah,
you'd hardly even know him. Like, Bakary Sagna did a very similar job.
Yeah.
And obviously he went to City, so it's a bit more high profile.
Thankless job.
Yeah, but just, you know what you're getting with them. They're going to play the exact same every game.
Yeah.
They're going to give you an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every single game without fail. They're not going to have a weird game, bad game. They're not going to just do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just a really underrated player. And I really, when he first came in, the £50 million, and they ripped into him that first night on the Brentford. They said he couldn't deal with Ivan Toney and Buemo and Wisser. And you just thought, yeah, maybe like they were like, he's not made out for the Premier League. And again, he didn't expect to come in and become a right back.
No.
But he's such a good right back.
Consistent.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone's seen it, but the bench cam, you need to watch it Arsenal's YouTube. When he nutmegs Doku,
Yes.
Arteta's reaction is so funny. It was very similar to, do you remember Pep about 3-4 weeks ago in the Champions League when Edison took on a player and he just kind of rubbed his face like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Arteta did that and it was very funny. But no, Ben White, yeah, hopefully put pen to paper. But that back five, I think, is in play. Jorginho against City did an unreal job at sitting in that base, that number 6. And we haven't seen Rice since Partey went out in the number 8 left 8 role.
True.
He's been playing the base role, which he's been unbelievable at.
Yeah.
But I just think, and I said it to a lot of people at the start of the season, our first team, because people were saying Havertz is in it. It's Partey sitting 6.
Yeah.
And then it's Rice left 8, Odegaard right 8. I think that is the best midfield in the league.
There's not many midfield threes that can compare to that other than what City are doing.
When City played Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne and Rodri.
Yeah,
that is the one. But again, they have so many moving parts of City that Bernardo Silva often he plays out wide, left back. De Bruyne is out with a long-term injury. So as it stands with full fitness, I think that is the best midfield three. Do I think he'll play Jorginho and then Rice and Odegaard and give Partey a bit more time? Yes.
Yeah, potentially.
Just because Partey's got away with Ghana. He's played 2 games in a row. Jorginho's had 2 weeks off.
Jorginho's also the kind of player that will want to play these games against the next club and cause a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, and I don't think he's been an issue. Because someone brought this up as another thing. So, I think we're agreeing that I think it will be Jorginho and then Rice left 8 and then Odegaard right 8. Yeah. I'd love it to be Partey because I think that is I'd love to see our first string team, which is the back five I just said.
Yeah.
Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. And I can tell you this. We have not seen our main front three, those 3, play a game together since mid last season.
Wow.
Since February.
Well, the question is on Saka at the minute then. Because if Saliba is likely to play, where's Saka at with what he's got going on? Yeah,
and that's the big thing. Because I saw I think there was a news report that was said that if Arsenal had to deal with what City have to deal with injuries, Arsenal would be struggling now.
Yeah.
But they forget that last week they were missing De Bruyne and Rodri.
Yeah.
And we were missing Partey, Saka, and Martinelli.
Which is very influential.
Yeah, and then also Martinelli came on, but he shouldn't have been. The medics said, do not play him.
Yeah, he demanded it. Really.
He came on second half. Saliba was playing with an injury.
Yep.
We haven't had our front 3 play since February together. The midfield 3 that we want, which is Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, played the first game of the season together and haven't played again since. We haven't had our first 11 this season or for a very long time. So it'd be very nice to see that.
So when does the PTSD wear off then? Because if we're managing to do what we did with City with a lot of injuries in the team, when do we get confident? Yeah,
when do we start going, we're actually very good? I still can't believe it. I don't think I'll ever believe it.
Especially going into an underperforming Chelsea side.
I think if they'd lost the last 2, we'd be more confident.
The only concern I've got is that we keep hammering home the XG thing and then they've managed to bang in some goals now. So are they starting to figure it out? Was that the floodgates opening? And we're the first game after the floodgates open?
Yeah.
For them to show up and just do it.
That's the problem, because when you look at XG of Everton, for example, they have a super high XG.
Yeah.
We went to Everton and we won 1-0.
Yeah.
And they created literally no chances. But you feel more confident about that because it's Everton. But because Chelsea have bought so many quality players that just aren't firing.
Yeah.
It's constant danger. So, Mudryk is going to run down the wing, cut in, shoot. That will happen.
Yeah.
Whether that goes out for a corner, for a throw-in, or whether it goes in the top corner like he did for Ukraine this week, you don't know.
Because of our past with him, I feel like he's going to score.
Yeah, I think the one guarantee of this whole game is that Jorginho will play and Mudryk will score.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's football storytelling and stuff. That is exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
But the other one in there is Havertz, and someone was saying, will Havertz get a negative reaction at Chelsea? And again, he didn't leave on bad terms. He was sold because they had to earn back some money.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever said anything bad. I don't think he was particularly liked when he was at Chelsea.
No.
And I read an article on him this week where we were talking about Haaland. So if you watch Haaland for Dortmund, I know people are going to be annoyed that I say Haaland and not Haaland. He was an unbelievable dribbler.
Yeah.
And you think of that Terminator and run through the middle of the pitch.
Players hanging off him.
Yeah. For City, he runs like Andy Carroll.
Yeah. Different game. Different.
And
game.
I'll stand by that. His build-up play is awful. His dribbling is awful.
Yeah.
And in the last few weeks, his finishing has been awful.
Yeah.
He's an odd player. And Havertz has dealt with similar. When he was at Leverkusen, everyone talked about this unbelievable dribbler, technician, just scores goals, quick.
Ruthless. Yeah.
Yeah. And someone brought this up was these guys are so young. When Havertz was doing that for Leverkusen, he was 6'1"
Okay.
when he was 20,
Yeah.
19, 20.
Yeah.
He's 6'4" now.
Wow.
Because obviously some humans have growth spurts around 21,
Yeah,
22,
yeah,
23.
Yeah.
And they jump up. So Havertz is not just dealing with, he moved to England and then shot up to 6'4".
Yeah.
Hence why Tuchel took him from a left 8 or a 10 and made him a number 9.
Yeah.
Because he was like, technically he's not getting it. And again, he was dealing with his body changing.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with how do you control the ball at 6'4" as opposed to 6'1".
Oh,
He's less far, when you're closer to the ground, that's why you look at your Sanchez's and Havertz and Hazard's, Messi's, those guys. They're close to the ground.
Yeah.
And their control is unreal.
You become a different player. Yeah.
And Haaland had the similar thing. At Dortmund, he was 6 foot.
Okay.
And then he went up 6'2" when he left. And at Man City, he's 6'4".
Wow.
And people were like, well, this sounds bizarre.
Yeah.
And I was reading the article on it, and I was saying people do. I know of people that when they left our school at like 16, I saw them at 18 and they were 5'11".
Yeah.
And then they were 6'5" when I saw them again, like 21, 22. This happens. People have growth spurts, and especially in athletic circumstances, because of the way in which they train and things like that.
Changes your whole game.
Yeah, you get different chemical reactions in the body. And since then, Haaland's not been. He's not the player he was at Dortmund.
That's crazy because I always had Haaland as a monster at Dortmund.
No, yeah, it's a weird old thing. And Havertz is the most obvious version of this.
Yeah.
Whereas he was a technician, close to the ground, an Odegaard type.
Yeah.
And then now we think of him as a lanky guy that can't control the ball great.
Yeah.
And I think it is that he's dealing with the mechanics of being a bigger person.
That's fair.
And I think that is why he's more suited to a number 9 because he came on against Man City and he played that number 9 role.
Yeah.
And he did it so well. He's holding it up, dropping it off. That is his role.
Yeah.
And I think that is what they're trying to come to terms with is what is he now?
Yeah.
I do not think he'll start.
No.
Annoyingly, I think the team will be the back 5 we mentioned. It'll be Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard. I think Martinelli will start because Trossard's injured.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got away with Brazil, which is helpful. And then on the right, I think it'll be Jesus and Eddie down the middle.
That's fair.
And I think that is pretty much, I believe, other than Trossard and Martinelli, that is the team that started against City.
Yeah.
And later on in the game, I think you will see Tomiyasu, Havertz, Partey.
Yeah.
And I think the week after is where we might finally see
the actual team.
The team.
Yeah.
Because but annoyingly at the start of the season, he was mucking about with Partey at right back.
Yeah.
So when we did have the ability to do it, he didn't do it. But we know we can see that team, that back 5, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. That is an unbelievable 11.
Yeah.
And off the bench, you have Smith Rowe, Eddie, Trossard, Havertz, Kiwior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho.
Yeah. And if that starting 11 can click going into the back end of the season, that's ideal.
Yeah. And I'd even mention Vieira, who was getting into really good form until he got injured just before the Man City game.
Yeah.
So, and that's another player because in that Everton game, there was a moment where Vieira was playing the left 8 and everyone was worried that he may be too lightweight to play at Goodison Park away from home, left 8. And he was unreal.
Yeah.
And his connection with Martinelli before he got injured in that game.
Yeah.
We almost thought, have we found the new Xhaka at the left 8? Because he was perfect in that left 8.
Yeah.
And that's what we need because at the minute, Rice is having to be 6 if Partey's injured.
Yeah.
Or 8 if Partey's available. What we want is Rice and Partey available to play 6.
And Rice to have a solid position that he can hone in on.
Yeah.
As well.
And then a solid 8. So, for example, last year we had Partey, Xhaka, and Odegaard. And that was guaranteed almost every game until there was injuries. And then, you had Jorginho and people like that coming in.
And that caused Xhaka to figure out what his role was at the 8 as well.
And I think Havertz has looked really awkward at 8. I think Rice is good at 8, but it's a different type of 8.
Yeah.
He's not doing what Xhaka did.
No.
Whereas Vieira, he's best friends with Martinelli. Their link-up play was unreal. And we only saw it for a half, but he was doing... Was Zinchenko behind him? He was the first person I've seen since Xhaka who was finding the pockets in the 8 for Zinchenko, because Zinchenko's passing is unreal. And then he was sliding the ball into Martinelli. It just looked good.
Yeah.
And I do want to get back to that. Again, I wouldn't like to drop Partey to have Rice at 6 and then Vieira at 8.
No.
I think naturally I would want Partey and Rice in the same team.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's a long season. We're going to see a lot of versions of that 11. But I am dying to see that 11 and actually see what they deliver. If it's good, if it's not, if it doesn't work, it's unbalanced.
Yeah, the same way we were begging for that back five to be together.
At the start of the season, we were like, why is he playing Partey there when he had Timber at left back?
Yeah.
He had Partey at right back.
Yeah.
And I think he had Saliba and Ben White as centre back. And he was dropped Gabriel. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
There must have been something going on with the transfer there or something.
I guess so. Or Galaxy Brain.
Yeah, and that is always the worry with the Pep protege, that Galaxy Brain thing of just, I can't give you what you expect. I have to go slightly off the wall.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, I do think they're getting it together. I could see a draw.
A draw is very fair.
And if you were to offer me the draw right now, I think I would take it.
Yeah.
Just because I think 2 weeks ago I wouldn't have taken it. I would have been like, we have to win that. And I think it still is a statement win. If you beat Man City at home and then beat Chelsea away, back-to-back weeks,
that's big.
I think people will then go, all right, they're for real again. But I don't know. They just seem awkward. They don't seem defensively. Sorry, defensively they are very good.
Yeah.
But Burnley did manage to get a goal.
Yeah.
Teams have beaten them.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were good defensively, but they were just missing a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And again, with Jackson, Mudryk, they're not guaranteed scores.
No.
Like, do you know what I mean? They're not. If you're running 3 on goal from the halfway line, Nicholas Jackson and Mudryk are not the people you would bet your house on right now.
But Sterling,
I would, because he's just quality.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested tactically how we set up. Do we sit back? Is it a situation where we take the ball and allow them to counter?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like the City game where there was 20 different mini games in there? I'm really interested. But again, if we stay as switched on as we did against Man City, we reduce them to 4 shots.
Yeah.
If we can do things like that to Man City, then we should be able to nullify Chelsea.
I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, I think the confidence coming from what we've now done, and I think the PTSD is wearing off a little bit. I got a lot of hope for Chelsea this season, but I don't think this is the game. I think we beat them 2-1. I think that's also what I've gone on my Super 6 prediction. So I just remembered that.
I've gone 1-0 Arsenal.
Nice.
I think it'll be a draw, but I like similar how I can't bet for Spurs. I have to bet for Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one. I really that's a 5:30 Stamford Bridge. That's a big game.
Massive.
And I know Chelsea aren't at it, but it's still a big game.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the top 6 by the come the end of the season, I think. I just really hope we can get a win here because that'd be so big for the season. Oh, God. That is the end of the predictions.
Wow.
We've done a little bit of a preview of the Arsenal-Chelsea game. The last thing we need to do is we have actually a Champions League game next Tuesday.
Wow.
So we'll be recording this podcast next Wednesday. It'll be hopefully up by next Wednesday because last week we had some issues with Spotify.
Yeah.
I put it up as normal around 2:00 on the Wednesday. It went up on iTunes within maybe 3 hours, which was long.
Quick. Yeah, that's long, but it's been going up quick lately.
Yeah, the weeks before it was going like all 3 platforms had it within about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, but last week, about 3 hours for iTunes. Google Pods had it up by, I think it was that next morning, like 7 a.m.
Okay.
So Thursday morning. And then Spotify didn't get it until the afternoon on the Thursday. And again, I know I've had people say like, that's kind of, I don't like it because I'm a big podcast guy. So if I expect a podcast to come out on a Wednesday, I set my head of like, Thursday morning on the way to work. That's the podcast I always
literally plan my drives around podcasts.
Yeah. And I hate not delivering on that. So I just want to say that everything went up as normal. As soon as this podcast is done, I'll edit it and I'll put it up on all 3 platforms. Hopefully it'll go up in the next 20 minutes. I can tell you, hey, it's like midday. It's 11:30 right now. So hopefully by the end of the afternoon, you'll have all these podcasts available for tomorrow's morning's drive or tonight's drive home or wherever it is. Because I think it's just important.
It is important. Consistency is key.
Yeah. And especially when you're doing it consistently, but it's still not going up. So it's a frustration. I don't know what changes, to be honest. But hopefully this one will be up nice and ready for you so you can get yourself ready for the predictions for the weekend. So you guys, if you're following along at home, can get kind of jazzed up for club football being back and for the big Arsenal v Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
What is also happening is Sevilla away next Tuesday. With the loss away to Lens, that game has become a big game.
Yeah.
Because if you lose that, we're in a real panic stations in the Champions League. And what we don't need is this season is us playing our first team away from home 4 or 5 times in the Champions League this early.
Definitely not. No.
Like when it gets to knockouts, you're going to have to accept it, but you do not want to be. If I was playing FIFA, for example, I'll be resting half my players for the Chelsea game because I'd be worried about that one.
True that.
So here's my prediction. The 11 that we said will play against Chelsea, the ones that we kind of predicted. I think in the Champions League, you're going to see Raya still, but I think maybe you might see Tomiyasu come in for Ben White.
Yep.
I think you might see Kiwior come in for Zinchenko.
Okay.
But stick with the centre backs.
Yeah.
Then in the midfield, I think you'll see Partey.
Yep.
If Vieira's fit, Vieira and Odegaard.
Yeah.
If not, it might be Partey, Rice, because Rice seems to play every game of every minute of every game.
Good players play games.
Yeah. So it could be Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you might see Jesus down the middle or Havertz down the middle.
Yeah.
And then a returning Saka on the right.
Okay.
And then the left, maybe even a Smith Rowe or a Nelson. So you could change it like that. And I think that is enough to beat Sevilla away.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's all about the midfield battle. And if you could play Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in midweek as well.
Yeah.
As well as at the weekend. And that's why I think Jorginho playing helps because Partey can play 20 minutes at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then 70 minutes.
True.
And they can switch it. And then Rice will probably play 90 in both.
Yeah.
And then Odegaard will probably play 90 in one and maybe 70 or 80 in the other. Because if there's like a Vieira available, I'd love for him to get 10, 15 minutes either at Stamford Bridge or away at Sevilla. So
if this was Sevilla at home, I'd be way more confident with the situation. But to go from Lens away to Sevilla away, that's tough.
And with Martinelli being injured, but coming back, you don't want him to play 90 minutes against Chelsea and then 90 minutes midweek. So you're going to have to see, because Trossard's out, a Smith Rowe. And I'd love Smith Rowe to get a little cameo and maybe even a start at Sevilla. I'd love to see that.
I'd like to see Nelson get a bit more time.
Yeah, but I think because I think Eddie will play against Chelsea, so I think Havertz will play against Sevilla.
Yeah.
And Jesus will play right for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I think he'll come on for Havertz in 70 minutes for Sevilla.
True.
So there could be a Nelson 20, 30 minute period for the Sevilla game more. It'd be interesting because we need to get through to the press conferences so we know who's available this weekend, particularly because obviously it's still 3 days out from one game and then 6 days out from the other. So much can change in that time. There could be injuries at Stamford Bridge. Vieira could be back. Saka could be back.
A lot's going to happen between this episode and next week's episode.
And that's why we're thinking of adding some more ones. So, like, for example, I really want to do this Man United one.
That'd be really good,
just to hear what's really happening over there, because obviously I kind of vaguely hear it. And I hear about all the negativity that's surrounding them, but never hearing exactly why, or an unbiased opinion of someone who hates Man United saying something, for example. So no, I want to do something like that. With these games coming thick and fast, sometimes it's almost worth, if we can get all three of us doing the prediction league on a Wednesday, almost jumping on and doing a little mini preview the morning of a game, or something like that.
There's too much action to take in.
So we'll play it by ear and see how busy everyone is. Hopefully start getting you out one or two, always a one podcast a week on a Wednesday, but maybe throwing another one or two in the week just to tide you over.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously for me, I listen to, my favorite football podcast is Arscast, and they have a Patreon, and they do things like a preview pod the morning of a game. So I'll sit and play like Fortnite or FIFA.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to that preview pod before the game.
Well, like we said, so much happens between this episode and next week's episode. It is worth having a bit more going on in the middle.
Because again, if Sevilla beat us next week, next week's pod's going to be a real panic station.
Oh yeah.
Because again, this week could be one of the better weeks where you really solidify your title race, beating Chelsea and beating Sevilla away.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're going hard in both. Or it could be a situation where you're like, we're in panic in the Champions League. And
well, my breathing could be going for different reasons next week other than health. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Exactly. So hopefully next week Simon will be back. He should be. He was just literally busy today, and I heard his schedule at the weekend when we were with him.
Wow.
And it is wild. So hopefully get him in. If not, like he said, because last week he's desperate to be on the pod, but he couldn't. So he just recorded that 5-6 minute.
He genuinely looks forward to these conversations.
Yeah.
Because it is the time that he gets to really discuss football.
Yeah. And I think he's missing it. So hopefully, and again, if we can get him, if he's available on a Saturday morning or something, I'll try and jump on here quickly with him and get his takes on a couple of things. You can follow him at Simon Miller 316 on all forms of social media. You follow us at ByTBA on all forms of social media. If you want to see us on Twitch playing Fortnite with the team, we are XOTBA. And then we are the brothers on Facebook and YouTube. because we've got 300-400 videos on there. If you ever want to go and look through the catalog,
an absolute back catalog.
We've got a massive back catalog, and obviously tell 5 people about this podcast. Get them to subscribe. Download this podcast 500 times. So when you download it, what I would love to see is swipe download.
Yep.
Remove download once it's downloaded. Do it again. Do that all day. Because then when I look at my analytics, I'll be a very happy boy.
Yeah, we want to keep doing this.
Yeah. But no, tell 5 of your friends. Make sure you download the podcast, subscribe to it, give it a 5-star review if you can. But other than that,
and we also want to add more podcasts, like we said with the Man United one, revolving around other teams, because we are positively Arsenal. We had some conversations at the wrestling at the weekend with fans of other teams, and they were put off by the name. We don't want it to be put off by the name. We want everyone to. It's an all-inclusive podcast where we talk about every team.
It's the Premier League, but we hint on Arsenal.
Yeah, it's just we're Arsenal fans, but we also love the Premier League, and we're not afraid to throw some praise Spurs' way every now and then. You know,
it's not great though, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we have thought about it. Maybe doing releasing an Arsenal-based podcast where we preview the Chelsea. For example, today we would have Joe, Simon, and myself would have spoken about the Chelsea Arsenal game and the Sevilla game.
Yeah.
And that was the podcast, maybe a 40-minute pod about that. And then you release a 40 to an hour-long pod where we preview in depth each week of the Premier League.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the way we go. Because I know some people hear Gunners Are Us podcast and think, oh, I won't listen to it because it's an Arsenal pod. Maybe we'll have a Premier League Are Us pod and a Gunners Are Us pod.
Yeah.
And Gunners decide we subscribe to.
Because we're water with a hint of lime. We're not lime water, you know?
Right. This is what they say. But Joe, did you want to do an outro? Do you have anything set up?
Yeah, I do. I was thinking about it.
Right.
So we're going to wipe that Chelsea smile off their face this weekend. We're going to send a cannonball straight through that Stamford Bridge so they can't cross it no more. Come on, Arsenal.